David had lost his school fees on his way back from school. He had carefully kept it in his pocket, but somehow it had fallen out without him noticing. As he walked under the blazing sun, tears rolled down his cheeks. He was crying so much that people walking by stared at him, but no one stopped. A woman was sitting at her small roadside stall, selling tomatoes and peppers. She looked up and saw the boy crying. Her heart filled with pity, and she quickly stood up. "My child, why are you crying like this?" she asked gently. David wiped his face with the back of his hand and sniffed. "Auntie, I lost my school fees. I don't know how. I've looked everywhere, but I can't find it." The woman stepped closer. "Calm down, my son. Tell me exactly what happened." "My name is Miss Caroline." David explained, "I live with my father and stepmother. My father lost his job some months ago. Now my stepmother is the one providing for us. She gave me this money to pay my school fees today. She told me not to come back without the receipt. If I do, she'll beat me and might even throw my dad out." Miss Caroline's heart sank. She didn't have much herself, just a poor widow surviving day by selling a few baskets of tomatoes. What she earned that day was all she had. But when she looked at David's face, she didn't think twice. "How much are the school fees?" she asked gently. 5,000 naira, David replied, voice trembling. Caroline reached into the rusted tin box under her stall and pulled out a small bundle of notes, her entire earnings for the day. She placed it slowly in David's hand. "Here. Go and pay your school fees," she said with a soft smile. David's eyes widened. "Auntie, are you sure?" "Yes, my child," she nodded. "It's all I have, but I'm giving it to you. Be serious in school. Don't follow bad friends. One day, you'll become great." David clutched the money tightly and wiped his tears. "Thank you, Auntie. I promise to make you proud. When I grow up and become rich, I'll never forget you. I'll look for you and help you." Caroline smiled. "Don't forget my name." "I won't," David said. She placed a gentle hand on his head and whispered a prayer. Then she went back to her stall, with no food for herself but peace in her heart. David ran toward the school before the gate closed. He looked back once and whispered, "God bless that woman." David's gratitude and Caroline's struggle. When David got home, he looked exhausted but calm. He had paid his fees and had the receipt in his pocket. His father sat on a low bench, looking stressed. "David, welcome," his father said. "Did you pay the school fees?" David nodded. "Yes, Daddy." His father stood, relieved. "That's one less problem. Let me see the receipt." David handed it to him, then looked down. "Daddy, I need to tell you something." His father frowned. "What is it?" David swallowed hard. "I lost the money on my way to school." His father's face darkened. "What? You lost it?" "I don't know how it happened. I kept it safely, but I couldn't find it. I searched everywhere." I cried. His father's voice rose. "David, do you know what that money meant for us? Your stepmother will be furious. She might throw us out." David's eyes welled up again. "I'm sorry, Daddy. I was so scared. I almost didn't come home." His father turned away, angry and frustrated. "But then someone helped me," David added quietly. His father looked back. "Who?" "A woman who sells tomatoes by the roadside. She saw me crying and asked what was wrong. I told her everything. She gave me 5,000 naira. It was her last money. She told me to do well in school and avoid bad friends." His father blinked. "She just gave you money like that?" David nodded. "Her name is Miss Caroline." For a while, his father was silent. Then he sat down slowly. God bless that woman, he said. A total stranger helped my son when we had nothing. David, we must go and thank her. That kind of kindness is rare. David smiled. Yes, Daddy. I told her I'd never forget her. When I grow up, I'll help her. His father placed a hand on his back. And I believe you, son. God will help you. While David and his father were planning to go and thank Miss Caroline, her own world was beginning to fall apart. That morning, Caroline sat at her small tomato stall as usual. Business was slow. Her stomach was empty, but her heart was peaceful. She kept thinking about the boy she had helped the day before. Suddenly, loud shouts filled the air. Heavy trucks and men in uniform stormed the area. One of them shouted into a megaphone. All roadside stalls must go. This is government property. You were warned. Before Caroline could react, they began tearing down the stalls. Her baskets of tomatoes spilled on the ground. Her old umbrella was flung aside. She rushed forward, begging, "Please. Let me pack my things first." But no one listened. Within minutes, her stall was gone, wood splintered, tomatoes crushed, money gone. Caroline stood there, tears streaming, clutching one small basket she managed to save. Her sweat mixed with tears. Everything she owned had been destroyed. "Where will I sell now?" she cried. "How will I feed my daughter?" As she walked home under the scorching sun, carrying her last basket, her slippers dusty and heartbroken, she turned the corner to her compound, and froze. Her daughter, Naomi, stood outside the gate, crying. Their few belongings had been thrown outside. The landlord, a tall, pot-bellied man, stood at the gate with a smug look. "Miss Caroline," he said, "I warned you. 1 year without rent. You must leave. I'm done waiting." Caroline dropped her basket and rushed to Naomi. "Naomi, are you okay?" Naomi nodded, wiping her tears. "Mama, they threw everything out. I begged them to wait, but they refused." Caroline turned to the landlord. "Please, just a little more time. I lost everything today, my stall, my tomatoes, everything." The man shrugged. "I have new tenants moving in. I don't run a charity. Sleep outside if you want." He slammed the gate. Caroline and Naomi sat beside their scattered bags as the sun set. People passed by. Some whispered, some stared, but no one stopped to help. Caroline pulled her daughter close. "I'm sorry, my child," she whispered. "I tried. I really tried." Naomi leaned her head on her mother's shoulder. "I know, Mama. You're the best mother in the world. God will help us." Caroline looked up to the sky and whispered through trembling lips. "God, I don't regret helping that boy. If I had to do it again, I still would. But please, we need a miracle." That night, they slept outside, beside their bags. No food. No roof. No light. But Caroline's heart still held on to hope. A new beginning. At sunrise, Caroline and Naomi woke up on the cold pavement, sore and exhausted. "My daughter," Caroline said, rubbing Naomi's back, "we cannot stay like this. Let's go to the next town. My old friend, Sister Amaka, lives there. Maybe she can help us." Naomi nodded. She trusted her mother deeply. Caroline used the last bit of change from her ruined stall to pay for 2 bus tickets. The ride was rough, crowded, and slow, but it was a chance at something new. When they arrived, they walked slowly through dusty streets until they found the house Caroline remembered. She knocked gently on the gate, heart pounding. A few seconds later, the gate opened. "Caroline," a woman said, blinking in disbelief. "Oh my God, what happened to you?" Caroline hugged her. "Amaka, I lost everything. Government broke down my stall. The landlord kicked us out. We slept outside last night. Sister Amaka gasped. Come in, come in. She gave them water, sat them down, and shook her head in disbelief. Caroline, you're lucky, she finally said. You came at the perfect time. My husband and I are relocating this weekend. I was just about to return the keys and collect the rent advance. Caroline looked confused. What do you mean? I mean, the house is already paid for 1 year. You and Naomi can stay here. Just take over the house. I'll tell the landlord to transfer the name. Caroline's hands flew to her mouth. Ah. Amaka, you want to give me your house just like that? Yes, Amaka said, smiling. God must have sent you here. It's yours. Caroline dropped to her knees, crying. Thank you, my sister. You don't know what you've done for us. And wait, Amaka added. I have some savings you can use to restart your tomato business. It's not much, but it's something. It should cover Naomi's school too. Caroline wept even harder. I don't even have the words. Just yesterday, we had nothing. Today, we have a roof. Thank you, Sister Amaka. God will bless you. Amaka hugged her tight. You helped me long ago, Caroline. Now it's my turn. Naomi smiled through her tears. Thank you, Auntie. I'll work hard and make you proud. David searched for Caroline. 3 days later, David reminded his father. Daddy, remember we said we'd go thank the woman who helped me? His father nodded. Yes, son. Let's go today. They took a bus to the street where David had met Miss Caroline. But what they found shocked them. All the roadside stalls were gone. Broken wood, torn umbrellas, and scattered baskets littered the empty land. David looked around helplessly. Daddy, this was her spot. Where is she now? His father sighed. It must have been the government demolition. They've driven everyone away. David's shoulders slumped. How will we find her now? They searched, asked a few people, but no one had any answers. Finally, they walked back home in silence. David's stepmother's wrath. As they entered the compound, David's stepmother was already standing at the door with her hands on her waist. Where have you both been? She snapped. David's father answered calmly. We went to find the woman who helped David pay his school fees. What woman? She demanded. David's father explained, but she burst out laughing. So you expect me to believe this story? You left me here since morning to thank some market woman. David stepped forward. But it's true, Ma. She really helped me. Shut your mouth, she shouted. You and your father are liars. He's cheating on me with that woman. That's why he left with you. David's father was stunned. What are you saying? She saved your stepson. Enough, she screamed. Get out of my house. You and your useless son can go live with your tomato seller. Before they could say another word, she began throwing their clothes out. Bags. Shirts. Pants. All tossed on the ground. David's father quietly picked them up. No use arguing. They walked down the street until they found a small shop. The kind owner let them sit on a bench outside. After some silence, David's father looked across the street at a lottery shop. David, wait here. Where are you going, Daddy? David asked. Just to try something. He entered the shop and used the last bit of money he had, what they had hoped to eat with that night, to buy a lottery ticket. He picked numbers at random. It was just a distraction. But what happened next would change their lives forever. 2 days later, David's father, Mr. Benson, returned to the lottery shop. He wasn't expecting much, he just wanted to check and move on. The shop owner looked at his ticket, then stared again, wide-eyed. Sir, wait. This is the winning number. Mr. Benson blinked. What did you say? You won, the man shouted, holding up the paper. You won the jackpot. 100 million naira. Mr. Benson staggered back. 100, what? 100 million, the shop owner repeated, nearly dancing. You're a millionaire now. Mr. Benson's legs gave way. He sat down hard on a wooden bench outside, his hands trembling. Tears filled his eyes. God, is this real? He whispered. Tears streamed down his face, tears of shock, relief, and overwhelming joy. In one moment, everything changed. No more hunger. No more sleeping outside. No more insults. When he returned to David, his son stood up quickly. Daddy, what happened? Mr. Benson knelt and hugged him tightly. David. God did it. We're no longer poor. I won the jackpot. David gasped. You did? Are you serious? Yes, son. Everything's going to be okay now. David held his father tightly. Now we can find Miss Caroline. Mr. Benson nodded. Yes, my boy. And when we find her, we will change her life the way she changed ours. 15 years later. David was no longer the small boy crying on the roadside. He was a tall, confident young man, well-dressed, and full of purpose. He had become the CEO of one of the fastest-growing companies in the country. After his father won the lottery, their lives transformed. They moved into a beautiful home, started several businesses, and created jobs for hundreds of people. But David never forgot the woman who had helped him when he had nothing. Every year, on the anniversary of that day, David would sit quietly in his office and pray for her. I must find her, he always said. No matter how long it takes. He had searched, advertised, even visited the area again, but no one knew what became of the woman who sold tomatoes. Still, he didn't give up. Caroline and Naomi's struggles continue. In a quiet town far away, Caroline and her daughter Naomi were still living modestly. The help they received from Sister Amaka gave them a new start, but life was never easy. The rent-free house was a blessing, but eventually, the money ran out, and Caroline had to rebuild her tomato stall once again. Now older, with tired eyes and an aching back, Caroline still rose early every day to go to the market. Naomi, now a graceful young woman, had finished university but hadn't found a job yet. Most mornings, she helped her mother at the stall. Fresh tomatoes here. Sweet and juicy. Naomi would call out, hoping for customers. Some days were good. Other days, they returned home with unsold tomatoes and growling stomachs. Naomi never complained. Mama, our story will change, she always said. Caroline would smile wearily. I believe you, my child. God is not asleep. One day, as they packed up their goods at sunset, Caroline looked at her daughter and said, Do you still remember that boy I helped all those years ago? Naomi smiled. Yes, Mama. You always tell that story. Caroline looked up at the sky. I hope he's okay. I still pray for him. A bright Saturday morning. That Saturday, Caroline went to the market early. Naomi stayed behind to manage their small stall by the roadside. It was a slow morning. Naomi sat on a stool, fanning herself with an old flyer when a sleek black SUV pulled up nearby. A tall, well-dressed man stepped out. His suit was clean, his shoes shined, but his smile was warm and kind. He walked up to Naomi's stall. Good morning, he said. Good morning, sir, Naomi replied, surprised by his presence. I just came from a friend's daughter's wedding in the area. I want to cook something simple when I get home. Can I buy some tomatoes? Of course, Naomi said, standing quickly and picking out the freshest ones. These are sweet and ripe. As she packed the tomatoes into a bag, something about the man intrigued her. He looked important, but humble. She smiled and asked shyly, "Sir, don't be offended, but, someone like you cooks for himself?" He laughed softly. "No offense at all. I used to have a cook, but she relocated. My son is abroad most of the time, and I live alone now." Naomi nodded. "Ah, I see. That makes sense." The man looked at her more closely. "You seem like a smart young lady. What's your name?" "Naomi." "What do you do, Naomi?" "I finished school last year. I've been applying for jobs, but nothing yet. So I help my mum here while I wait." The man nodded thoughtfully. "What did you study?" "Business administration, sir." A long pause. The man's eyes narrowed gently, as if something clicked in his mind. "Your face, it reminds me of someone," he said. "What's your mother's name?" "Caroline," Naomi replied. "Caroline Okoye." The man dropped the tomato bag. He took a step back. "Did you say Caroline?" Naomi nodded slowly. "Yes. Is something wrong?" He stared at her, his voice shaking. "Your mother used to sell tomatoes by the roadside, in Lagos?" "Yes," Naomi said quickly. "That's where we lived before." "How do you know her?" The man swallowed hard, eyes full of tears. "She saved my life." Naomi was confused. "She saved your life? How?" The man nodded, his voice thick with emotion. "Many years ago, I was just a boy. I lost my school fees. I cried on the roadside, and your mother she gave me her last 5,000 naira. She had nothing, but she helped me. That act changed my life forever." Naomi's eyes widened. She gasped. You're the boy Mama always talks about." The man smiled, tears now rolling down his cheeks. "Yes. My name is David." Naomi dropped the basket she was holding and covered her mouth in shock. "Oh my God." David looked around anxiously. "Where is your mother? Is she okay? Please tell me she's okay." Naomi's voice trembled. "She's fine. She went to the market, but she'll be back soon." David took a deep breath, wiped his face, and looked toward the sky. "God, thank you. I found her. I finally found her." He turned back to Naomi. "Please, I want to wait. I want to see her." Naomi nodded quickly and offered him a chair. "Yes, sir, please wait." Not long after, Caroline returned from the market, balancing a small tray on her head and holding her purse. From a distance, she noticed a fancy car and a stranger sitting beside her daughter. "Naomi, who is that?" she asked cautiously. Naomi stood up and walked over to her mother, whispering, "Mama, that's him. The boy you helped." Caroline blinked. "What?" "The one you gave your last money to. His name is David. He said you saved his life." Caroline's heart skipped a beat. Her hands trembled. David stood slowly, looking at the woman who had once changed his destiny. He took a step forward. "Mama Caroline," he said gently. Caroline froze. She dropped her tray and covered her mouth. "David," she whispered. He nodded, smiling through tears. "Yes. It's me." Caroline's legs gave out, and David caught her quickly, holding her in a tight embrace. Both of them were crying. "You found me," she whispered, her voice cracking. "I never stopped looking," David replied. "I promised you. And I always keep my promises." That evening, David took Caroline and Naomi to a beautiful hotel nearby. He told them to rest, eat, and relax while he made arrangements. The next day, David returned with life-changing news. "I've already bought a new house for you both," he said. "Fully furnished. You'll never pay rent again." Caroline's hands flew to her face. Ah. David. That's not all, he added. Naomi, I have a job for you, right at my company. Your salary starts immediately. You'll be working as a business analyst, and we'll train you for leadership. Naomi began to cry. Thank you, sir. I don't even know what to say. David smiled. Call me David. And this is just the beginning. Mama Caroline, you're going to rest now. No more selling tomatoes. You gave me your last money once. Now, I'll give you more than you could ever imagine. Caroline knelt down, crying. God bless you, my son. May you never lack. You've brought joy to my old heart. David helped her up. You already blessed me, Mama. I'm just giving back what you planted. From that day forward, Caroline and Naomi's lives transformed completely. They moved into a lovely bungalow in a peaceful neighborhood. Caroline had everything she needed: peace, rest, food, and dignity. Naomi excelled at David's company. In less than 2 years, she was promoted, respected, and thriving. And David? He visited often, not as a billionaire, but as a son. He introduced Caroline to his father, Mr. Benson, who also thanked her deeply. The three of them often sat together and shared memories, meals, and laughter. Caroline's days of struggle were over. One kind act changed the course of a life. One small gift, given in love, returned in abundance. And one promise, kept after 15 years, restored hope, dignity, and family. Caroline's story became known